Hello everybody, this is Havoc and welcome back to Prehistoric Kingdom with our Prehistoric Preserve. Now if you've been following the series lately, well, I will say lately as in the last few episodes, not as in time-wise because there have been a lot of space between episodes. You will know that our park has steadily been decreasing in stars and there's been a lot of frustrations, essentially stemming from a lack of UI and UX descriptions. So essentially, there's been issues that we've been having that have not been explained by the things going on. Now, I filed a bug report finally, don't know why I didn't do this earlier, on the species repetition, and I actually got an answer from the developers themselves, and I tested it, and it works. Now, that's the good news. The bad news is that it is a drastic change we are going to have to make to our park. It is going to be very, very costly, and it's something that I wanted to show you guys rather than just simply, hey, I fixed it. So sit back, relax, because we are going to extensively rework our park. And I hope that it doesn't cause such a radical shift and a new mentality around the game that it kind of ruins the park. I will admit the species repetition makes sense from a developer standpoint, but in terms of what I want to do at the park, it is a bit unfortunate. So if the developers are listening and watching the series, which would be really cool if they are, I have no idea if they do, I have a suggestion on how to appeal to the players who want to have this creative focus without ruining the game or ruining a play style. So long story short, the species repetition, we're going to stay here for a minute, so apologies. The species repetition issue is that anytime there's the same genus of a species anywhere else in the park aside from where it was first put down, the first exhibit enclosure, it will count that as species repetition. So if I have a desert Psittacosaurus in more than one exhibit, it will get penalized. So thankfully, that's an easy solution. We get rid of all the desert Psittacosauruses in the other exhibits and consolidate them. Unfortunately, that means that I can either have super large enclosures throughout that have multiple species, or I have to only allow the desert Psittacosaurus to remain in the one section of the park and nowhere else. So that is a bit unfortunate. It's not how I want to play the game. I want to be able to have Psittacosaurus in different cool looking environments. But again, if you think about it, any traditional zoo probably wouldn't have a Bengal tiger in more than one exhibit, regardless of what it's surrounded by or anything like that. So again, I understand. The issue is that it's not how I want to play. So we have to deal with that and we have to be okay with it. So again, the suggestion. Ooh, I almost forgot the whole suggestion. The whole suggestion would be to be able to almost pull like a city skylines and have districts. So I would love to be able to say, okay, this is my like desert biome district, and I have my desert Psittacosaurus. But then over here, I have a children's district or something to that nature, where I can then have the desert Psittacosaurus again in this area, or any other dinosaur, plug and play, etc., etc. So that's my suggestion. Doesn't have to be taken. I understand it's not simple to just enable districts and it's good to go. But it is a suggestion that I think would help the park and help creative minds like myself be able to have the same species, genus rather, in multiple areas. With that out of the way though, we do have what we need to do with the park. And also, by the way, update 9's already here, which is really, really impressive. And it adds a lot that I'm actually very, very excited about. For one, we have new dinosaurs. We have the Oranosaurus. We have the Muttabuttasaurus, the Carcharodontosaurus. I said that wrong, I guarantee you. And the Spinosaurus, which is awesome. Some dinosaurs will start swimming, which is incredible. I'm really excited to see how that animation works. There's a new map, which we're not going to get into, obviously. We do have a new biome, which is grasslands. Where is it? Yes, grasslands. So these guys have their own biomes, which is apparently their most varied biome. Super excited to see where that goes. We have new texts and some new navigation stuff, etc., etc. So there's lots of stuff in Update 9. I'm super excited to get into it. We just have to fix our park right now. And again, unfortunately, that means that this exhibit is pretty much going to be gone. And we'll see this happen though. So I have a minus 1800 for species repetition, which means I need to not have our desert Psittacosaurus. Now, the thing is, we are going to dissolve this exhibit. And we are going to move this over to here. Now, if I go into my species outlook, we can see where else we have it. We have it in enclosure 10, so that's the new exhibit. We have a lot of them in enclosure 7. We have some Psittacosaurus over in our large one. So unfortunately, I'm going to sell those guys, and we're essentially going to have a relatively large purge of creatures, which will actually kind of offset our costs a little bit, because we are going to potentially have to buy a lot more dinosaurs. So we need to find where our little Psittacosauri are. And we may have to wait until the day. Oh, nope, that's it right there. Nice. Awesome. And so we can see here, no more desert Psittacosaurus. We're going to have to worry about those guys. Okay, so we essentially just need to relocate. And what we should see here, once we go over to this enclosure, is that it shouldn't be minus 1800. Okay, it still is. That's unfortunate. We need to consolidate. And I wish there was an easier way to batch move these guys, but there isn't. So we are simply going to move all of them. Now, hopefully it is genus related. Okay, we're getting it even more now. Oh no. Maybe once we consolidate them all into the same area, they'll be okay. Okay, so we are going to dissolve this, which will remove all of these things. We'll still keep this here. That's fine. We'll have just kind of a nice little desert area. We may round this out, kind of a deal. We definitely don't need these guys anymore. There's nothing here to look at. So it's now just a new little beach area, which I'm okay with. The real question is, all right, so you see now, we were at minus 1880. We're now at minus 1360. So that at least puts it at a D, and you can see that our stars have improved. So this is the process we're going to have to go through today. Now, I will kind of switch in between time-lapse and non-time-lapse as we rediscover all of these things, because it is an extensive thing we have to worry about. So now what I have to do is I have to be like, okay, so our Coelophysis, for instance, we are going to have all the Coelophysis in enclosure 7 be of the same genus. And so what I would honestly rather do, especially with the Coelophysis, sell all of them. And let's see how much a Coelophysis goes for. We're at 647. It's 15-ish. And I think they cost 30. So we will kind of take a hit, which is very, very unfortunate. So we have multiple things to do. Goodness gracious, we have multiple things to do. So we have a desert, right? Are they all desert? Well, flip. So what I want to do is we have a coastal. Oh, they're all the same. Well, flip again. Are these all the same genus? Is the question. Because if they are, then that's a very big problem. Let's do this. We are going to say, hey, we're at 1360 now. Okay, I think we're actually going to remove the Coelophysis from this one. And I really think these guys probably need a much bigger exhibit. So we actually might remove this exhibit here. Yeah, we might do that. We need to consolidate anyways. So it looks like we have those guys. So we need this broski. So we're going to see if this works. So this is a minus 600. And then we have what? Minus 1160. So we're actually getting even closer and closer up there. We need to get the same genus, which are these yellowish looking broskies. Now we're at 1760 and at plus 300. So it does appear that all of these guys are only going to be allowed, see, this is what I don't like, are only going to be allowed in one exhibit in total. But it's gotten even worse now. Now, however, I think I need to... We have a guy that's not contained. We have a Dryosaurus that's not contained. We're just going to sell them for now. Alright, we only have Coelophysis in one enclosure. Correct? That is correct. Okay. So now, if I delete this, you see I gained half a star, which tells me a lot. It tells me that that was having an effect. And again, we may come back and put something here in the future. It's not going to happen now, and that's okay. We go over here, minus 760 now. Okay, so that means that our Coelophysis are all the same genus, and they all have to come over here, which isn't a problem. I think that's fine. The issue is, do we have any crowding? We don't have any crowding because this is a relatively large enclosure. And you'll see even crowding here, we don't have any issues. We have one species down, more to go. So we have our Protoceratops, which is going to be kind of the hardest thing because our Protoceratops are in multiple places, 100%. And it simply means we need to, potentially relocate them. It also means, that we can't, it does kill me inside. I'm not going to lie. I am a little bit upset that we have to worry about this. But it is what it is. We'll get it worked on. We'll get it taken care of. So we have here, we have Ganbold, and we have Xanadu. Let's see what they are. Alright, so we have our Protoceratops. And these are all the same genus as well. Are there... So let me get this straight. Are there multiple... Okay. That's troublesome. So there definitely are multiple types of Protoceratops. And we're going to have to put them all in that same enclosure. We're going to put them in this one, because this is our desert biome and we need to be able to have that consolidation. Now, what that does mean is that our front entrance exhibit is going to be rather empty. And that really sucks. Like, that really, really hurts me because we were really banking on having that as an intro. And we're going to have to go find them as well, which is also very unfortunate. All right, time-lapse time. All right, let's see where it goes from there. We're at 1040, which isn't awful, but it's not fantastic. And now we're still at an F+, and that's because we do have our Dryosaurus, which are all over here. Let's see, that's 2,000, that's 3,200. We may turn this into a park, or something of that nature, and we may add our other dinos here. Now let's take a look. Our Dryosauruses, as we go, where are my Dryosaurs? Okay, yep, these are all the same species again. So yeah, this is it's very unfortunate because I want to have, like, it makes sense to be able to split up different skin levels, essentially, to everything else. Now, unless these guys have no crowding issues, they don't. So we are going to have to, unfortunately, bring in all of our Dryosauruses and put them together. Now, I mean, fortunately, it's an easier fix that isn't going to be as money intensive as I was thinking it was going to be, which is good. But still, again, having to limit yourself, which is, I am going to call it a limitation, is just unfortunate. I don't like it. I don't really agree with the methodology of it all, especially considering the different skin types, for instance. But we have to play within the bounds of the games. And so if the bounds of the game says, hey, you're going to be penalized for this, then we have to cater to that. Now, what we really have to focus on, so we have our Psittacosaurus, we have our Coelophysis and our Protoceratops. Do these exist in any other exhibits? They do. We're going to go ahead and drop all of our boyos here, which we know has to happen. And you'll see that we're gaining stars, which is that's a good sign. It's just, again, super unfortunate. And we have to bring all of our Psittacosauri over into this exhibit. So, I mean, the good thing is that, we're going to have a pretty heavy exhibit over here, which is fine by me. That works. But again, I just think it's a fun little flavor, especially considering that we have multiple biomes in which some of these creatures will totally exist. All right, so we have the Scelidosaurus. Let's put them where they belong. That would be Byron. Come on over. And Claire. I don't need to know where you are. I just need you moved. Now, as we pause and take a look, we have our Dryosaurus. Everything should be in order. No, we have several out of containment. What are you doing out of containment? Please stop. Several out of containment. Oh, goodness gracious. All right, well, you are a little bit of a lost cause, and we are spiking hard. Okay, well, now we should have an A. Perfect. Okay, that's what we want. We should go through our exhibits. A. We got an F, and that's from species. Ooh, enclosure 5. Let's take a look at enclosure 5. We're troubleshooting hardcore today. Okay, so I'm wondering why we have such an issue here. If I sold a couple of these guys, would you increase? Okay, I don't get it. I really don't. Maybe having too many, I don't know. And it's also possible that just by hitting play, we would be good. So now we have a B. We have a B here, which I don't know why that constitutes as a B, considering that there's some massive creatures here. But we have an A. We have an A plus here for species variety. We have an A. We have an A. Perfect. This is an F because we don't have anything in here. All right, so we brought our park up to 3.5, almost 4 stars just by doing that alone. So that's positive. We should see a massive, well, of course, this is a little bit skewed because we sold a lot of creatures. Animals and habitats we made a lot from. But now we should start seeing our guests start spiking as well as we work our way through all that. And that should mean a lot of positive profits. Our wind turbine's damaged. It happens. It's becoming harder and harder to fix these, I've noticed. They don't necessarily like to be fixed. There we go. Enclosure 7 has no food. They should have food now. Hello? Why you are not listening? Yes, you have food. Don't listen to them. It doesn't know what it's about. And we have plants, foods, which is running low, which is fine because we're almost there anyways. The food is coming, I assure you. We're running a little bit low, but it's fine. All right, now I do want to take a quick look and see what the profits are going to look like now. I still think donations are a little bit bonked. I don't receive any donations. Despite my, having things everywhere to do so. And it looks like our net profits are at least going to stabilize overall. Yeah, I think that'll work. All right, well, we fixed... Oh, my word! Oh, no! Oh, no! They can swim! Oh, no, they can swim! Oh, no, they can swim! Oh, they're leaving their exhibits! This is not what I wanted to have happen. But that's a fantastic thumbnail right there. That's a fantastic one. Oh no. So this is supposed, isn't this supposed to be a marker that they aren't allowed to leave? Isn't this a habitat marker that they're not supposed to be able to? Oh no. How do we, okay, this is interesting. This is very interesting. That's as deep as it goes. Oh no. Edmontosaurus, what are you doing? Oh no. This is hilariously awful. Please come back to your exhibits. Please and thank you.
While your favourite dinosaur movie might have depicted the T-Rex with rather poor vision, brain scans have revealed that its vision rivaled that of modern birds of prey, which means that it's watching you just as much as you're watching it. Eerie stuff.
Okay, so this is an absolutely hilarious problem that I did not anticipate having. Our dinos can swim now. How many more do we have out of the enclosures? We have a big problem. All of our dinos are swimming. Okay, we have to enclose it now. Okay, everyone's safe and sound. I don't like that I have to now enclose this. But it is what it is. So we still have to, I mean, just because I don't like it doesn't mean it doesn't have to be, it can't be addressed. It has to be addressed. So we now, sorry guys. Oh shoot, that's the, like, one of the funnier things that's ever happened in this exhibit, or in the zoo. We can totally give you space to swim. How about that? Well, actually, you probably don't even want too much water, am I correct? Oh no, you guys want water. Cool. Well, we'll do a relatively... Oh, shoot, fire. Hold on. Huh, it's not really going the level that I want it to. Am I really that deep over here? Yeah, it's not wanting to go super deep. Okay, well that's fine. We can totally just smooth this out so it's a little bit less rough. And then, honestly, this wouldn't normally keep out any creatures, but I'm hoping that it will. Because, holy crap, that's funny. That's very enjoyable. Actually, that's so funny. Okay, so we still have to figure out then. We have to do an enclosure here, which really sucks. I don't enjoy. Oh, and I just, nope. Okay. Yeah, I gotta destroy the right thing, not the wrong. There we go. But my goodness, how funny is that? Okay, so we still have to invest heavily into some... These boyos. Oh, goodness gracious. Well, definitely not on the list of things I thought I'd have to do today. The thing that really sucks about this now is that it really uglifies my park. And yes, I'm going to use that official terminology. Because this is just dag nasty ugly now. You know, in other places it's understandable. There we go. And like even right up to this exhibit it's understandable. But like, oh, it's so gross. No, no, we gotta go underneath. We gotta go underneath. They're not allowed to see this. Don't make me let them see it. Oh, you gotta be kidding me, bro. We'll see if that actually keeps them out. But yeah, freaking. Oh, that's too funny. Okay, but what we can do here is we can hide it to an extent. Why can't I move you? There we go. And in fact, if we were to go into this and select all of them, we can actually scale this to be a little bit chunkier. Does that look awkward? It actually really doesn't. Now it does block the view, but again, eventually we were going to build something different anyways, like a platform, a viewing platform. So we're just gonna the things I thought I would never have to do. Let's rotate it this way and then push it up just a little bit. So it at least hides that little bit. And can I scale everything, including... Oh, I can. Okay, that actually helps. That actually makes me a little more okay with what's just about to happen. And I can always push it down. We want to move it just a little bit so it's not actually covering that up. I guess we kind of need it to cover it up. That's all right. That's all right with me. Okay. We'll see if that contains everyone. I don't know that it will, but regardless, our little creatures are swimming now. Yeah, nice try. Yeah, Naga. No, thank you. Please, please don't. Seriously. And that's super cool. It's super awesome that they now all swim when they want to. But like, goodness gracious, I thought those invisible barriers were going to do something. And Masha's like, yeah, I'm still going to try and bust out. We'll see if this is working for over here. Hopefully, we don't get any more escaped creatures. Okay, everyone's good. We have... This isn't necessary anymore because we did confirm that the bug that was having an issue with them drinking from water is no longer there. There we are. Well, that was a little bit of an expense. Definitely didn't anticipate having to do that. But it's all good now. It's all good. Oh my word. All right, so we have some very interesting things we have to consider now. One of those being species repetition. We understand how it works now. Is he eating from the termite mound? What? I don't know that I've ever seen that. I don't know that I've ever seen that. That is super awesome. New animations be bonkers, and I love it. Oh my word. Okay, so let's take a look now Our guests have risen dramatically, which is good. It's very reflective of where we are now, especially financially, etc. We still need to fill up refills, which I hope one day we'll be able to auto refill and also be able to auto create our own food. I will invest heavily in that when we're able to. But now we have to decide the future of the park. Let's go into our nursery settings. So what we can now figure out is that we can no longer have a Coelophysis. The Dilophosaurus is now the same as well. Our Torvosaurus, we can actually have another Torvosaurus. So we have our, I think it's a tannery. Yes. And the Gurnei. I'm probably butchering those genus spellings. But regardless, we now have the ability for a scrubland or a coastal exhibit for a Torvosaurus, which is awesome. We now have to think about that. I can't unlock any of the other boyos there. Look at this. We could have multiple exhibits for these guys. Now, they're all pretty much all in one exhibit, so we aren't going to worry about it from here on out. Our Scelidosaurus, we're stuck with them. Dryosaurus, again, all stuck with them. Our Edmontosauruses are not limited, though, which is great. So that means we need to figure out what we have. And I do believe we just have an Nectinus. We may have a Regalis. Regardless, I don't think we have a Cucpicensis, which means that if we get a boreal or a temperate region, we can totally have one of those, which is great. We can spread those guys out. Psittacosaurus, actually, we can have different ones. Huh. I didn't think about that. Regardless, I think we'll keep them there. They don't really need to be anywhere else anyways. Looking at all of our other guys, our Tatusis, they're all in one place. Our Styracosaurus are all going to be in one place. However, our Pachyrhinosauruses could be in multiple places if they wanted to. So we have that to think about also. And that's all of our current dinosaurs. But along with everything else, we got some new dinos to exhibit, some new excavations overall. And let's take a look at some of these. We're not ready for our mammals yet. Not one single bit. So unfortunately, the Smilodon isn't an option. Our Parasaurolophus is going to be an option once we hit 4 stars. Super excited about the Parasaurolophus. We could get our Acronanthosaurus, which should really help the park. We actually may purchase one of those very, very soon. We have our Lambeosauruses, which is also a tier 4. They are very expensive though. Parasaurolophus, again, is not doable. What I'm excited about is our Triceratops, but goodness gracious, are they expensive. And our T-Rex is actually less expensive, which is ironic in a way, considering that's much more of a classical looking creature. Overall, though, we have lots of things that we can choose from, including our Ouranosaurus from update 9, which we could probably purchase one of those and bring into the park. We have our Paracantherium. Again, we're not going to touch that yet. Our Dinocarius. I don't know. We got to figure out essentially. Ooh, our Velociraptors. Oh, I'm surprised they're a tier 2, even with the, actually accurate things. Yeah, that actually really surprises me that they're only a tier 2 creature. Interesting. But what we need to be able to do is we need to be able to have something that is a tier 4 to upgrade our park to a tier 4. So we might go our Dinocaris, or we might go our goodness gracious, our Acrocanthosaurus. There we go. We have an okay amount of I don't know, a Lambeosaurus. These guys just look fantastic. They are more expensive though. We may end up rocking with our boy over here. There we go. I just made the commitment. So let's take a look at our boyo. All right, so he is a coastal, wetland, or tropical creature. Dude is not super massive, But again, he's a unique creature that we don't have yet. Minimum size is 2,000 meters square. That is not a problem whatsoever. Like, we have zero issues with that. They have an exhibit crowding of 8. And if we were to look over at our Torvosaurus, well, I guess we could have just gone into here. Nope, that's our Tyrannosaurus. Where's our Torvo? They have an exhibit crowding of 15 with a minimum size of 1,900. So this is a 6,000 exhibit, and the crowding was almost too much for this one. So unfortunately, we may only have one of our other boyos. We'll have to definitely wait and see. Nope, didn't want to do that. But yeah, we have options on where to put it, and we may expand our wetland. Because remember, we kind of have to push our wetland all the way through here and kind of wrap around. Our desert's going to wrap around this oasis, whereas our wetland's going to wrap around the desert. So we can definitely plan next time on building an exhibit over here and expanding our wetland experience to be able to bring in our other dinosaurs. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm super glad that we fixed the park. Thank you to the devs for giving the explanations that all worked and that we have, at least answers now. We need to, I don't know, maybe we'll put in some new, let's see, this is enclosure 5. We may bring in some more Scalidosauruses into enclosure 5 for some variety, as it were. And then we'll see where we can't go in the very, very near future. But regardless, ladies and gentlemen, the park is doing great now. We're seeing fantastic numbers. We will get up to our, our normal net profit, so we can start experiencing all of the things that we need to in due time. And we should be pretty darn good. Now, we're out of stock. We should be getting those in 1 month, so they'll just kind of have to be hungry. But that's all for today's episode. We fixed the park. That's the most important thing, and I'm so excited we did. But guys, thank you so much for hanging around, for sticking around, for encouraging me and giving me that encouragement to be like, hey, it'll happen, it'll come through. Hopefully it gets figured out. It's figured out. So thank you for your support. If you'd like to support further, you can give this video a like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel as well. But also, if you'd like to provide a further contribution, you can support this channel through a membership. And again, in this specific series, that will get you something in the park to be, to note your contribution, essentially, and we can figure that out. But it just helps the channel in other ways, and it's not necessary whatsoever. But if you'd like to, again, contribute more, you can, totally. Anyways, I'm done rambling. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. This is Havoc, and I'll see you in the next one.
These are nature's greatest creations. This is your park. This is Prehistoric Kingdom.